So today we're going to talk about connecting with your inner child. This is a topic that is so close to my heart because I love to connect with my inner child. And one of the ways I do is through laughter yoga. Laughing allows me to connect with my inner child, and there are many ways we can connect with our inner child. So let's try to understand why it is important to connect with our inner child. I believe that it's important we stay connected with our inner child if we really want to access the best in us and we want to experience the best around us. Because when we have an access to the inner child, we are able to use that filter of that inner child consciousness. And what is that filter of inner child consciousness? The filter is to be able to look through the eyes of a child. And what are the eyes of a child? Children are pure creatures. Children have open heartedness. Children have healthy egos. If they don't like something, they would say no in your face. They don't bother about the consequences. And children have playful quality around them and about them, the childlike quality of playfulness that makes you come alive. And I believe these are all heart-based practices. If we can connect with our inner child, we are living through our heart and projecting our heart to the outer world. But the problem is that as we started growing up, our ego also started growing up with us. And with that ego, our fears and our limited ways of thinking started to come into our vessel of consciousness. So we started losing that touch with our inner child playfulness. We started losing touch with that creative space, the creative playground like space that could help us to play around with different challenging situations without a sense of fear, but more to come from a creative space. And spontaneity is another word I would like to use, that when you are in touch with your childlike self, you're more spontaneous because your consciousness is free from those ego-based fears and limited ways of looking and thinking. So you're very much into your creative space, and you're more spontaneous to deal with your challenging life situations from that space. So it's very important that we stay connected with our inner child consciousness, but that is a challenge. It is not easy because as we grew up with lots of do's and don'ts, shoulds and shouldn'ts. So that list of do's and don'ts and shoulds and shouldn'ts somewhere tainted our childlike consciousness. So it created a lot of barriers for the child to stay connected with its spontaneous reactions and responses to life. So what can we do that we start reconnecting with our inner child? What can we do that we stay connected with our inner child? That is something that I would like to talk about today. And I'm sure that everybody, each one of us, likes to connect with our childlike self, because that is where we can let ourselves loose, we can get rid of our stresses, and we can be explore that sense of freedom that comes through connecting with that childlike consciousness. And who doesn't like freedom? All of us like to be free because that is who we are in essence. We are all looking for the spaces where we can experience that freedom through becoming more peaceful, through connecting with our higher essence, and through connecting with our childlike self. So today I would share with you what could you do to start connecting with your childlike aliveness. The first important thing that you can start doing is start reflecting on where are you feeling stuck in your life, because wherever you're feeling stuck, those stuck spaces are coming from some kind of fear in your life, some kind of barrier that your consciousness is experiencing. So, in order to get out of that consciousness, you need to do some self reflection. That is very important. That when we start getting in touch with our inner child, we cannot really go to that space of full freedom and explode with that childlike aliveness unless we start looking at what is stopping us from going into that space. So some self-reflection, some inner work, that sprinkle your day with that inner work and see where your aliveness is getting kind of not coming alive due to what kind of thought patterns, belief patterns, what consciousness is hindrance to going to that childlike self. That is important for the long-term connection and getting in touch, retrieving your inner child. Now, the second thing that you can do is practice every day some activities that allow you to go into a state of playfulness. Recount what you did as a child, what made you happy, and try to reconnect with those actions. Just start doing it. Just start moving your body. Just start connecting with those activities that made your life more fun, that made you connect with your laughter. Do some laughter yoga. Laugh every day and connect with your friends. Recount the things from your childhood that made you come alive. And third important thing that you can do is start acting. Take action, practice something each day that allows you to go into that state of flow, because children always flow. They don't really think too much. They run from here and there, and their parents are stopping them. They are so spontaneous. And that is where adults are trying to stop that flow of energy instead of facilitating that flow. When we stop our children from doing things, we are stopping that flow. So for parents who are watching this, it's very important to understand that it's a basic nature of children to go with the flow, to run, to do things and let loose their energies, their creative selves. So don't stop them. Rather, try to facilitate, and even if you have to stop them, do it in a way that your child can think and take his own decision to stop that process. So be good communicators, learn how to talk to your children, and learn from your children. I would say children have so much to teach us, and learn from their childlike nature how you can be children again. Because if you really want to beat your stress, if you really want to connect with life and its aliveness, you need to keep your inner child alive. If your inner child is alive, you are experiencing life with much more intensity than you would, as most of us are just surviving. So if you really want to thrive, if you want to be thriving, if you want to be more in touch with life around you or inside you, it's very important to awaken our inner child. It's important to remember that children do not hold on to something for too long. But as adults, we have a tendency to hold on to the things because our ego prevents us from letting go. So learning to letting go is another important thing that you can start looking into if you really feel that it's difficult for you to laugh and it's difficult for you to feel that sense of flow and aliveness into your life. So connect with your inner child, connect with your ego, because your ego is something as an adult that stops us from doing a lot of stuff that makes us self-conscious of being criticized, because that is what, when that inner child was stopped with do's and don'ts, shoulds and shouldn'ts, then that inner child started doubting herself or himself. And it started becoming self-conscious of the adults around him or her, because those adults whom he believed to be taking care of him or her were directing him to look into shoulds and shouldn'ts, do's and don'ts. So this inner child started doubting himself or herself. So understand that, let your inner child know that you know how pristine and precious he or she is, how beautiful or handsome he or she is, how spontaneous he or she is. And let her do something silly, something out of this world. So laugh every day, do something silly, do something that children would do, and connect with your inner child, and also spend some time in some self-reflection to check where are you holding on to things and where it is important for you to let go of those emotions which are really pulling you down, and lift your spirits up by connecting with your inner child. Because children have the most pure hearts, and children speak from and come from a space of heart. They have egos, but their egos are not very unhealthy egos. Their egos are, do not put on the masks. Their egos are, um, they may have insecurities and fears, but they are open to share. They are open to share. They are aware. They are more self-aware when they are in their healthy sense of self. So if you tell a child, do this, if they don't want, they will refuse clearly. But as an adult, we have more developed brains. So when we connect with our inner children or inner child, we are able to use both aspects of ourself, our healthy adult self and our lively inner child self, and bring a balance in our personality to live and deal with our lives in a more empowering way. When you start looking into it from that point of view. So flow with your inner child, do things that allow you to connect with your inner child on daily basis. Do something playful. Do something that allows you to flow. Do something that allow you to get in touch with your spontaneity, because your creativity, because our inner child thrives on creative playground. So create some activities that allow you to laugh, play, and be in your flow. That is the best way to connect with your inner child. And don't forget to join my laughter yoga free Zoom laughter club, because I also will be doing a lot of flow and inner child connection in it. So I'll see you one of my Zoom laughter yoga clubs where we will be doing flow and fitness and connection. So move more and flow with your energy. So I'll see you soon. Till then, you stay blessed and talk to you again. Have a happy day. Bye bye.